So here we are. This is our 6th episode of The Boardroom. Now, I say 6th. It's kind of like the 7th because we did do this a few weeks ago and Zoom crashed on us. I'm not saying Zoom, sorry Zoom, not your fault, but whatever technology we were using did crash. So these things are always best unscripted, so we thought we'd give it a couple of weeks and forget everything we spoke about. But I'm usually flanked by JD and Max in Manchester, but today we've got 2 new guests to the boardroom. I'd like to introduce you to James Holder, who's manager of our contract technology team in Manchester. Hello, James.
Hello.
And Sam Dorrington, who is our business director for our tech perm team in London. Hello, hello, Sam.
Hello there. Thanks for having me back.
So look, our boardroom. Yeah, we like to take a topic that will have resonance or have an impact on our customers, clients and candidates. And it does feel like we're sort of coming out of this pandemic now. But when we first sort of chose the subject, and today's subject is mental health and well-being, which we sort of thought about a couple of probably early March. We just come off the back of a great campaign in raising some money for the Mind charity, and doing some interactive challenges to keep us motivated during lockdown 3.0. But it got us talking about mental health and well-being, and it's something that's been in the news a lot, and there's been a lot of discussion around this all the way through the last 6, 9, 12 months, all the way through the pandemic. And if we go back, it almost goes back to this time last year at the moment, thinking where we were and what we were doing, and even then it seemed that mental health wasn't something that people spoke a lot about, and that's massively changed over the last 12 months. And I think it seems to have. I mean, Sam, would you agree? And if so, why do you think that's been?
Yeah, I mean, massively is the short and quick answer, which was definitely needed. I think in social groups, in relationships, and notably in the work arena as well. I've had some challenges, well publicised challenges in some respects over the years as well, and I think that the amount of attention and support that you're now able to firstly access if needed, but I suppose quite rightly it's just a number of questions and interest and help that people are able to provide off their own doing, I suppose, that's massively changed in I think in the last 2 years. I think I've been in situations previously where it was a bit of a dirty word. No one really knew how to deal with it, from a HR standpoint, and certainly from a performance standpoint as well. And it was an elephant in the room for a long period. And in some respects, as someone that's gone through it, it was quite uncomfortable at times. But fortunately, we do seem to have got through that difficult period, and the amount of attention it's given on social media, and LinkedIn's been a fantastic tool as well, and just how everyone communicates internally, I think has been a much needed and really important shift for the better. Yeah, very much so. And James, from your standpoint, I mean, as recruiters, right, we a big part of our job is we get to talk to companies about their people strategies. Have you started to see mental health and well-being on the agenda of your clients' talent strategies and employee engagement strategies, and sort of what sort of things have you seen your customers start to talk about?
Yeah, absolutely. I think from someone who's been through some mental health, not problems, I'd like to say, but my mental health has definitely been tested. I'm very much from someone who's experienced that. Whenever I speak to clients or candidates, that's always at the forefront of my mind in terms of, what can we do from a selling point, from a company perspective or from a candidate perspective, to make life easier. And certainly the last 12 months have taught us all to take time for ourselves, and as Sam touched upon, it was seen as a weakness from a long time ago, and things have changed and adjusted, and I think speaking to clients and candidates alike, I think candidates are a lot more comfortable telling clients from when they first start roles now and be open with it. I think before they would go into a job and it would come out sooner than later that their issues they were struggling with, and then the clients might question why they hired them in the first place. But I think nowadays, certainly from what I've found, people are a lot more open and willing to discuss things right from the bat. So yeah.
And it does seem that people are more comfortable to talk these days, but do you still think, are there, well, I guess there are, right, but do you think there are still people out there suffering in silence and that aren't getting the support and or either realizing they need it or knowing where to go to get it and how to get that support?
Yeah, I think so, and I probably could see myself as one of those people. Not very well. I think I'd probably say 4 or 5 years ago, I think I came to the realization that it was no longer a weakness; it was a problem shared as a problem half, so to speak. But I do think, still nowadays there are people who are concerned about how they might be perceived in the workplace. Will it get out to their peers and things like that? Will they be looked upon in a different way? And I think certainly what the past has taught me is just to be open. And I think having a good management structure in your business is absolutely key to that. Having the trust with your manager is an absolute essential in order to to be yourself and to come out with what you're really feeling inside.
Yeah, some good points there, James. And look, to you, Sam, when you and I have worked together for a number of years now, and I've been part of that management structure, and I probably got it wrong a lot more than when I started to learn maybe how to get it right. So from your experience, Sam, what are the things that have worked well from a business trying to support you through those challenges, and what are the things that maybe as a business didn't necessarily always, or things businesses are doing that aren't supporting people as well?
Yeah, good. I mean, sometimes, Neil, you do have to take a little bit of responsibility for yourself, which perhaps I hadn't always done. But in terms of the support, I suppose it's just, if someone's if someone's got an underlying illness, I don't think an organisation would be. There's a level of trust that's given, and I don't believe that people need to disclose everything that's perhaps happening to them at the moment, or should feel that they can disclose as much or as little as they wanted to. But I think what I have seen from mental illness, for me, is depression and anxiety. People want to understand what's going on, and sometimes I know that those questions are asked for the right reason, but I do feel that there still needs to be an element of trust there, that if somebody is reaching out to the right people, that there's still some things perhaps that the business doesn't need to know about, which gives you I suppose which when you do try to articulate it through, can't go almost causes more of the anxiety issues. I think for me personally, over the past 12 months, the flexibility to work from home has been a positive thing. Just not having to I suppose get caught up in that commuter lifestyle, and just get a little bit more sleep and rest, and get time to get up in the morning or finish in the evening and do your exercise, which everybody knows is such a massive important thing to keep those good feelings and good vibes going on.
Well, I think the impact that we saw as a business firsthand, I think it was Hayley Davies' idea, right, to sort of do this inter-London, Manchester sort of fitness challenge.
Yeah.
But the impact it had on our business, just in camaraderie, in banter, in challenging each other, but it forced everyone to get outside and do some level of fitness, and it catered for everyone. But the impact it had was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I never thought that I would enjoy walking 40-50 kilometers a week, which I'm now up to. I tend to walk around southwest London with a set of headphones in, and I love it, and I think it's been a massive positive for me. I think my days of probably putting myself through the rigors and the pains of running are probably gone now. But that just going out walking, getting some fresh air, and being able to what I felt was put my mind in a good place was such an important thing. So yeah, as I said, hats off to Hayley and all those that help support that.
Yeah, I mean, from a personal standpoint, I think my journey I remember hearing about employees, a member of staff, member of the team that's suffering from depression and anxiety. You did think they are just, you think they are being weak, or it's just a cop out, it's an excuse. And it's been a really tough journey for me personally in trying to understand what people are going through. And I think I don't understand. I've not been in that situation. You're trying to educate yourself to understand. I think as a business, we have to really consider how the health and well-being of our teams. And I think all the businesses we recruit for, the good thing is I think many businesses are taking this very, very seriously now, and it's really important because it gets the best out of your people, right? Engagement at work and camaraderie and being happy and enjoying. If you enjoy the work you're doing, you're going to be far more productive, right?
Yeah, I personally find, and I've got some friends that I've reached out to. I know have gone through difficult times, and now that I personally feel that I'm out through the other side of the majority of my problems, I think it's you can have some really deep and meaningful conversations with people. And I feel just by having that mindset and assuming people are going to have problems and not being afraid to ask those difficult questions, you actually build much better and closer bonds, both with your friendship group and your colleagues and everyone at work, by getting rid of all the white noise and really asking people about how they are and listening and making them feel, I suppose, that they're not alone, regardless of how big or small that problem might be to you. For somebody else, of course, it's a significant issue.
Sure, yeah. So, look, as always, time will always get the better of us. But maybe sort of in summary, James, if you were giving from your personal insight, top 2 or 3 tips that businesses and/or managers can do to support their employees suffering with any sort of mental or anxiety or depression challenges, what would they be?
I think straight off the bat, it's show flexibility. I think we're stepping into an era now where gone are the times where you have to treat everyone the same, and if someone shows a sign of weakness, then you have to show some flexibility, especially if they've proven their loyalty to you as someone who's loyal to the business. And I think secondly as well, you can't manage everyone the same. Everyone's different, everyone has different emotions, everyone reacts to things differently. And I think from a business standpoint, understanding your employees, understanding what makes them tick and what potentially makes them, from a mental health standpoint, I would just say just making sure that they're fully aware of what's going on and being that way. So
thanks for that, James. And Sam, top 2 or 3 tips from yourself?
Yeah, I suppose it's like we've done, encourage that healthy lifestyle, that work-life balance. I would say secondly, it's trust your colleagues, trust your employees, that they are being upfront and honest. Nobody wants to feel like this. Nobody wants to wake up feeling down or anxious. And be mindful that with the right level of support, that this person will get better. And although their performance will be often it will be at the detriment of performance, that this person will get back to where they were or will improve and just take a longer term view and look at it. I would suggest, and just with James as well, I think the flexibility, and I suppose as we're moving more away from where we have been remote working and moving into more of this hybrid way of working, it's about there's not a one size fits all approach, and I do feel that you need to what's best for the individual, not what's best for the business, not what's best for the team, what gets the best out of that person, whether that is working from home all the time, whether that is coming in a couple of days a week, or in the likes of some individual I spoke to, they need that camaraderie and togetherness and want to be in the office every day, and just be mindful of that approach. And let's not get back to the times where it's a top-down message and this is what we're doing because the market's picking up and the economy looks great and this is our chance to make hay while the sun shines. And they're probably my key takeaways. Brilliant.
Well, look, really appreciate that, guys. And obviously it's a challenging subject to discuss and can be sensitive, but for you guys to sort of talk through how you found your personal experiences is really brave and quite inspiring. So really appreciate you going through that, and I look forward to being back on another episode of The Boardroom, maybe with my newfound guests again. Cheers, guys. Thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Bye bye.